The middle splits is a challenging flexibility pose that requires significant hip abduction and inner thigh mobility. This may be your goal, or maybe you're trying to maintain the split or come back after a break. In this video, I will guide you through the warm-up, strengthening of your glutes, core and external rotators, followed by stretching of your adductors, piriformis, glutes, hamstrings, and hip flexors, and a demo of the splits at the end. Please listen to your body and stop when you feel pain at any point in time. Remember, it should always be discomfort, not pain. Let's go. We'll start by lying down on our backs and begin crisscrossing your legs, then dynamically opening them out to the sides. This movement helps activate your inner thighs and hip flexors while warming up the muscles needed for middle splits. Keep your core engaged to control the movement and maintain strong, active legs. From here, tuck your legs in toward your chest, then butterfly your knees out before extending them straight. Repeat this movement, aiming for smooth, controlled transitions. This exercise helps to open up the hips by actively engaging the inner thighs and improving external rotation.
Midnight creeping through the daylight, still no sign of brake lights. This is so fun. We ain't gotta pretend we're way more than just friends. This is so fun. We're popping and locking and ready to go. We're moving and grooving, not taking it slow.
Kick your left leg out to the side, aiming to bring it as high as possible while keeping your right leg stable. This movement strengthens the hip abductors and improves active flexibility, which is essential for middle splits. Grab the sole of your left foot and gently rock your hips in a half happy baby pose. Take a moment to tune into your hips. Do they feel tight today? Explore the edges of your discomfort by gently pulling your bent leg closer to the ground. From here, extend your leg straight, then bring it back in. If reaching your foot feels challenging, use a strap to maintain proper alignment and ease into the stretch.
I'm learning how to trust. Won't stop till I see the colors in my eyes doing this for me. 'Cause I was born to fly. I won't stop till I see the colors in my eyes doing this for me.
Next, we'll move into right leg lateral kicks. Kick your leg out to the side as high as you can while maintaining control. This dynamic movement will help build heat in the muscles to make deeper hip openers feel more accessible. Keep your core engaged for stability and focus on intentional kicks.
I'm looking out from cloud nine. Na, 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 na. Until I'm looking out from cloud nine. Na, 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 na. I'm looking out from cloud nine. Na, 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 na.
Come into a half happy baby pose, gently pulling your bent knee toward the ground while keeping your left leg extended and active. Move gently, allowing your hips to sink deeper into the stretch. As you extend your bent leg, notice how your hips respond. This movement helps improve hip mobility and flexibility.
It's just me, myself, and I. Don't need anyone else to be helping me to get so high. I create my own destiny. Oh, 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 oh. I don't
Open your legs into a straddle position and do some crunches. Brace your core, keeping your movements intentional, and sync your breath. Exhale as you reach forward and inhale as you return. Exhaling will help engage your core more deeply and fold forward with more ease. Come into a tabletop position on your forearms with a block under your right knee. From here, we'll do fire hydrants. Lift your right leg and squeeze your outer glutes to engage your hip abductors. Gently tap the block and lift again. The block helps with better form and targeting the right muscles more effectively. From here, keep your leg lifted and do small glute pulses at the top. Squeeze your glutes with each pulse, and you'll notice that your glutes will definitely feel the burn despite the subtle movement. This will help build strength and stability in your hip abductors and the surrounding muscles. Switch over to the other side, placing your left knee on blocks for fire hydrants. Keep your right leg stable and grounded, your forearm pressed into the mat, and your core engaged for balance. Lift your left leg with control, focusing on squeezing your glutes at the top. Keep your leg lifted and do small glute pulses here. The movement is very subtle, but you'll feel those hip opener muscles working hard to strengthen and increase your range of motion. Place your left knee on the block while keeping your right leg straight. Sink your hips back as much as your range of motion allows, feeling a gentle stretch in your hip and inner thigh. Then rotate your hip and torso, moving from forward facing to a side facing position. Flex your feet as you gently place your knee down. If the balance and rotation feels a little bit tricky, feel free to just focus on sinking back and up. However, the rotation does encourage more muscle activation. From here, bend your knee and place your left calf on the block or the floor depending on what feels better and accessible for you. Keep your back foot flexed, and as much as possible, try to really straighten through your back leg, then gently place your knee down. Move through these motions with control, focusing on keeping your hips stable. Feel your left hip gently release into the stretch as you try to sink down. We'll repeat on the other side, starting with the right knee on the block and going from sinking back into your hips and inner thigh, then rotating to the right. Keep your movement slow and controlled. Place your right calf on the block or the floor. Then, as much as possible, straighten through your back leg and gently sink into your right hip. Focus on deepening the stretch as you allow your hip to relax and open.
Lovers and daydream till you came dancing into my life. Now I no longer be a thing. I was grounded, now I'm ready to fly. Take me back to the night, back to the heat, back to the fire inside. Take me back to the lights, back to the beat, back to a love so real. Take me to the feeling. You got my heart in a spell. Take me to the feeling. You got me falling again.
In the next exercise, place your left knee on the block in a tabletop position and bring your right knee as close to your shoulder as possible. Then kick it out to the side and complete the circular motion by drawing your leg back. This movement helps floss through all the little muscles surrounding your hip joints, promoting stability and strength, essential for achieving a deeper middle split.
Take me back to the lights, back to the beat, back to a love so real. Take me to the feeling. You got my heart in a spell. Take me to the feeling. You got me falling again.
Straighten your right leg and gently tap it to the left and then right, drawing a rainbow shape with your foot. Focus on keeping your core and legs activated throughout, using slow and controlled movements. Bend your right leg behind your left and sink your hips down onto the mat. If you're struggling to stack your knees or ground both your hip bones, try placing a block under your bum. This will help improve alignment, prevent rounding of your lower back, and allow your hips to open gradually. As your hips become more flexible, you can remove the block to help close the gap between your knees, allowing a deeper stretch. We'll repeat the sequence on the other side, starting with your right knee on the block. Draw your knee toward your shoulder, then kick out laterally, extending your leg back out. Engage your core and obliques to maintain control. Push through your shoulder for stability and flex your foot to keep your balance steady. Let's move on to rainbow leg lifts. Continue to stay engaged and move through slowly and intentionally. Now place your left leg behind your right and lower your sit bones onto the mat. In this cow face pose, you're trying to actively externally rotate your right leg and internally rotate your left. Be gentle in edging close to your discomfort and let your hips gradually open up. This position helps open up the hips, targeting the hip flexors, glutes, and the deep muscles around your pelvis. Make a figure 4 shape with your left leg and gently rock from side to side, allowing your left hip to gradually open. Tune into any tightness and let your body ease deeper into the stretch. Move on to the other side, making a figure 4 shape with your right leg. This side might feel a little bit different. Allow your hip to gently open up.
Was never coming true. Bright light at the end of the tunnel. A heartache healed before it all crumbled. A new day to help with the struggles. 'Cause I heard a voice in the night that told me I wasn't here alone, here alone. I wasn't here alone, here alone.
Come into a straddle and lower as deep as you can. Draw your navel in and contract your glutes to lift your torso back up. With each rep, feel a deeper stretch in your inner thighs while strengthening the muscles that bring you back up.
I tried to look on the bright side and no day to find out they be fine. You don't ask, but I know I'll be alright. 'Cause I heard a voice in the night that told me I wasn't here alone. Heard a voice in the night that told me I wasn't here alone, here alone. I wasn't here alone. No, I wasn't here alone. In the night that told me.
Come into a frog position with blocks under your knees for support and gently rock back and forth. Alternate between contracting and releasing your glutes. As you release, notice if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch.
I wasn't here alone. I was leaving to try to seek out new beginnings. Even though it is my hometown, you know I've never liked Chicago. I'll pack my bags and then I'm off to maybe London or Milano. Moving on to someplace that
In the same frog position, twist your upper body to the left, which allows your right hip flexors and adductors to lengthen further, and you may notice a shift in your left hip activation, which is contracted for stability. Notice these slight changes in your hips. The more in tune you are with your body, the more you can ease deeper into your stretches. Twist to the right side now, noticing a shift in your hip engagement as you're encouraging a further opening of your left hip flexors here and adductors in this pose. Your right glutes and TFL are working hard to stabilize and control this pose. All those strengthening exercises we did previously will allow you to open up further in this stretch. Come into your deepest pancake and hold this pose. Please use blocks if your torso is still quite far from the ground. It's better to have proper alignment rather than greater depth. Please also stop at any point where you feel your lower back rounding. Focus on anterior tilting your pelvis, which is a slight shift in your hip, by arching your lower back and leading with your belly button to touch the ground first. If your pelvis was a bowl in a neutral position, anterior pelvic tilt will shift the front of the bowl to drop down and the back of your bowl to lift up. Once your belly button is on the floor, then proceed to drop the rest of your torso down, reaching out to the side to grab your feet if you can. Do some leg flutters in a butterfly position and come into your widest straddle. From here, gently wave your torso forward, exploring the edges of your range of motion. Once you reach your end range, shift your pelvis between anterior and posterior tilt with small controlled rocks. This movement helps deepen your stretch while improving pelvic mobility. Use blocks for support or as leverage to guide your pelvis into a deeper tilt. When you exit the pose, do so with control, no sudden movements. Flutter your legs and do some windshield wipers here. These movements after a deep middle split stretch helps reset and release tension in the hips, as holding an intense stretch for a while in the hip muscles can feel tight or fatigued. Awesome. This is such a difficult stretch. I am so proud of you guys for making it through.